Today I'm going to talk about the worst place I've ever worked in my entire life. I want to share this story so that you can see the detrimental effects that the wrong type of office layout can have on an employee, and that's coming from an employee at the prime of my career. It's something that I think is going to be relevant for your employees too, because a lot of the same problems still happen. So let's get into it. Now, I'm this arrogant, big-headed idiot thinking that when you graduate college, you're making $1 million your first year. You're going to work with a Fortune 500 company. They're going to give you the moon and the stars. Work's going to be easy. It's going to be just like college, except you're going to get paid. I did get hired by a Fortune 500 company. I did get a signing bonus. I was really proud of that. I bought a car before I graduated college. Really bad mistake, don't do that. I was one of no more than 14 recruits from Harvard, Yale, Georgetown, and just a handful of other colleges. Without visiting the office at all, without even asking about the company culture, I already found my dream job. When you'd walk in the office, this was one of the only buildings downtown with no windows. So when the sun comes up, we don't see it because we're getting in at 6 a.m. When the sun goes down, we don't see that because we're leaving after 6 p.m. When you look up, all you saw was these old halogen-like bulbs that were this yellowish tinge that were direct light that would cast a hard shadow on the papers we would read on. So not only was the sound suppression poor, where people can speak across the floor and you can hear every conversation, which is hard to do detail work in that environment. The lighting was harsh, which made it harder to read paper documents. The CPU monitors were small. We only had one screen, so ergonomically it was very poor. It was very old school. So my job all day was looking at spreadsheets, pricing merchandise correctly so that the stores we coordinated with had the proper pricing and we were managing inventory levels properly. One mistake can cost tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. So in this high pressure type job, there was an instant where I'm focusing on my work. I hear other distractions. I'm trying to focus. It's just my personality. And I miskey one of the variables. I put these jeans that are normally on sale for like $49.99 or something like that. They were on sale for $4.99. They were on sale for $4.99. So across the country for about an hour or two, you could buy some Tommy Hilfiger jeans for $4.99. You're welcome, America. That was my mistake. One of my colleagues at work at the time, all of us were in our early 20s. This particular young professional woman had just gotten engaged. Her fiance got into a horrible accident and was paralyzed. She was arguing, should she keep the engagement on or break off the marriage? I'm just sitting right next to her and I'm thinking to myself while I'm working on my spreadsheet, that's horrible. I feel so bad for this guy. I don't want to know this information. That's not appropriate for me. She's 3 feet away. I can't turn my ears off. I'm listening to the soap opera play out live. I felt cheated. This is a far cry from the type of facilities I thought I would get out of college. What got me to this place was the executives that recruited us. They talked about what their lifestyle was like. They talked about their work environment. So imagine going up the elevator and seeing this door open, beautiful open space. The CEO had a huge office, but he also had a couch to do some thought work while lying down or sitting down. He had a ticker on the wall. He had whiteboards everywhere because he liked to write and just visually map out things. If you could just bottle up the positivity and the energy from that floor and share it, it would have been amazing. And it would have been such a wonderful place to work because I absolutely loved being next to leadership and seeing what they were doing and what they were about. The people that are going to work for you 12, 15, 16 hours a day, those are the ones that you want to feed off each other. You want them close to leadership. You want them to feel invigorated and see the rowing of the boat and the effects that that has on the entire ship. I'll never forget that for the rest of my life. The difference between the two, the dichotomy of the beautiful, energetic floor for the executives and the wasteland, apathetic, dark, dingy place that smelled like salmon and burnt popcorn was just night and day. The CEOs would never work down here, but maybe it would have served them well to spend a day to see what it was like for us, because all of their young executives had to grow up in that environment to work their way up to that floor. Workplace dynamics is essential, especially nowadays, when productivity is paramount. When I'm relocating people, I always try to make sure I'm talking to employees to get their feedback. When they're on tours, you could see their faces. The CEOs will see a space like, oh, this looks nice. I love this open space. I love this design. The lobby is marble, it's beautiful. And you look at the employees and they're thinking, where am I gonna work? Is that my place, that little dark corner right there? Is that my cubicle? That's my wage cage? For an employee with my type of personality, I needed a space that was private, not permanently. I didn't need my own office. I needed a place where my boss could correct me privately. I took great pride in my job, so making mistakes was embarrassing for me. And having the whole floor hear about my mistakes was crippling. The work environment prohibited productivity for me. You know how you could see those animals that you could tell, like the kids have been beating on the cage too much because they're just kind of desensitized and they're just looking like, please don't bother me.
Okay, that's the last straw.
Life can't be like this. Life cannot be like this. There's no way I graduated college to live like this. And then I look around at my colleagues and some of them look like it was just a victory to make it through the end of the day.
Ever since I started working, every single day of my life has been worse than the day before it. So that means that every single day that you see me, that's on the worst day of my life.
I had to make a change. I ended up working in one of the best places I ever worked in my life, which I'll talk about in the next video. That's gonna be a great story. You don't have to get a Class A+ space to have your employees be happy. You also don't have to give everyone their own offices. That's also not necessary. There are ways and there are methodologies that you can use to make sure that the different personalities in your office are accounted for properly, so that your highly valued recruits can stay in places that they stay energized and connected to leadership. And your personalities that don't need that social connections can have a place where they can be to themselves because they may not mind a different type of environment. So that's my story. I'm very thankful for the opportunity. And I'm thankful for you for taking the time to watch this video.